Okay, so wow. I woke up with this energy of disgust, and I wonder if that means something. The man rolled by on a bike said it's not that way anymore. Um, I think it does mean something because I woke up with such a, I don't know. I was talking to God this morning. I'm like, what is happening? But it's like before I can even ask so many questions, it literally was just pouring out of me. So, well, first off, what I was told to read or listen to was the book of Ezekiel. So I started my walk listening to the book of Ezekiel. I got as far as chapter 12. And oh my goodness, now I can understand why I was feeling such amount of disgust and detest. That was another word that kept coming up when I was reading the book of listening to the audio of the book of Ezekiel. So let me Google detest. Um, Dislike, intensely dislike, right? So yeah. That's what I was feeling. I was like, what is wrong with me? But the more I kept praying, the more I kept seeing that's the spirit in me, that's God in me telling me like this is what he's feeling. Like he's to sit so high and to see his children battle each other and dark and light, and it's just so unnerving and so disgusting and so vile to consistently see it over and over and over again. And the more I kept listening to the book of Ezekiel, the more I kept understanding exactly why there was such, like I said, I only got to chapter 12. I'm going to finish listening to the rest of it today. But like I woke up and I was like, oh, I have to go do this and I got to go study and I got to do this. But something happened online. It wasn't, I don't know what's going on at the school. But then I'm like, God, I don't understand. I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, is this coming towards me? Like, are you mad at me? Like, I did not do what you want me to do. Like, all these things I was asking him this morning in prayer. Well, I'd just be saying, like, him and I would just be, like, just shooting the breeze, just talking. And, and it's like, nah, it's this feeling of disgust, detest that, let me get up and start walking again. This feeling of disgust and detest and this disattachment and this need of wanting to, like you have the children of Israel, but at the same time you have those that totally went against him and decided that they were going to do what they wanted to do and cause harm for the children of light, So when I look at this and I couldn't understand what was happening to me, why I was feeling the way I was feeling, and the more I kept reaching out to God, asking him, like, why am I feeling this way? What is going on? And it's because he's witnessing what I'm going through and what so many of us are going through. And I'm like, the stalking, the need of trying to stop you, the need of anything that you do, they find a way to try to block that. Like all of this energy to try to stop his children are trying to stop his other children, and it's just disgusting to have to see and to witness. And so the more I kept going further in and pulling at that thread, the more I kept noticing that this isn't just a feeling that I have, this is a feeling that the spirit is having, this is a feeling that he feels, this is what he is consistently seeing. And I saw, is that another dead bird? Gosh, what does that mean? So I saw one when I was walking, when I started my walk to tip the corner, and let's see, what does it verse what you mean? An omen of change, symbolize the end of something and the start of something else. Okay, so even go back to what the man said when he rolled by saying it's not that way anymore. And is that, or is that wood? But anywho, is it wood? it could be some wood or tree bark or whatever, but it still looks like a bird. But anywho, the book of Ezekiel speaks about how God is showing Ezekiel had a vision, and then it actually played out, and God lifted him up, as he said, by the hair of his head, and took him into the kingdom and showed him some things, and also spoke to him. Let me start walking. And spoke to him about, what is to come and what he has been witnessing. So me asking God, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I not doing everything that you want me to do? And I'm pretty sure there are others that are asking the same question, but at the same time, it's not that. It's that, like I had stated before, things are being put into place. And when you read or listen to the audible of a book of Ezekiel, you feel the anger that God has, and how he's ready to, as stated in the book of Ezekiel, they live by the sword, so they first shall they die by the sword. Like, he knows what people's fears are. And he did also touch base with the cherubs and the angels, and how they are able to see everything, which I thought was so cool, because you have these wheels of eyes. And I was at the library yesterday, and I can feel the guy standing like right over me, but I'm like, it doesn't make any sense for me to turn around and try to engage with him and say, hey, excuse me, sir, can you back up? Like, just trying to do another project here. So, but in the same sense, eventually, because that's what's wanted, a need of connecting in order to have an interaction. And yes, I got to remember to talk about that too, an interaction in order to connect, so that there's an engagement. And at first, like I was saying to God, I honestly didn't even notice. Like, coming from home, I didn't notice that I had that happening to me until it's like things started to slow down, where I actually had a moment to try to pay attention to my surroundings on that type of level, where I just kind of brushed it off. And then to be in a whole nother state and have the same consistency happen again, I'm like, what the heck is going on? But all that shows me is that what's in me is very strong, which is God. And what, because we have his spirit in us, and what dwells in us is very strong, and which means that he's able to connect with his children on a whole nother level, the ones that are not rebelling against him. And it helps me to understand and see that it's not going to die down. It's not going to stop. Even when I'm in the book of Ezekiel, until God handles it, in the book of Ezekiel for, I think, chapter 10 or chapter 11, when he's telling Ezekiel, being that he's a prophet, he's telling him how to leave, because they watch him so intensely. And these are the rebellious children of Israel that are stationed in Judah. And even when God had took Ezekiel over to see Jerusalem, the land of Jerusalem, and, he showed him the divine ones, like he showed him the angels and the cherubs and everything like that, and the throne, and that level of trust, that, even though I only got as far as chapter 12, like, there's so much to talk about, because even last night I was trying to watch TV, and then I said, well, let me turn to a certain station, because that station seems to always be working, and I can listen to some scriptures or whatever, or listen to some sermons. But God was like, I'm like, why does my body feel like this? And then I'm like, and I'm listening to the people, and they're doing the the concert, and I'm like, something doesn't seem right about this. And then I see one black guy in the audience. He's making the same face that I make. And he's just standing there looking like, something's wrong here. And I'm like, why does my body feel like that listening to them worship? But I'm like, aren't they worshiping the same thing that I'm worshiping? And then, well, not same thing, but same one. And then in Ezekiel, because I'm like, what do you want me to read? And I heard Ezekiel. And I'm like, okay, fine. Let me go do that on my walk. And then he speaks about Tammuz, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know about that. And so I'm like, because it's almost, I don't say identical, but you know how they do, they like to mirror everything that you do, so it appears to look like they are the holy one, like they are the one that have been called into action, when they don't even know what it feels like to go through the things that you have to go through. Like, even today, I'm like, I am tired of seeing certain things that I don't want to see. But at the same time, it's like, you don't get to turn off God, So ugh. But it's like these people want the clout, but they don't want the work that comes with it. They don't want the pain and the trauma and everything that you had to go through in order to really have the solidified relationship with God. They just wanted to make it seem like they have that. And all for clout, all for fame, all for money. Nobody wants to be righteous. I don't think people understand that when you come down here, it's not easy, like, and then on top of that, I remember watching something a couple of years back, and the man was talking about angels, and he's like, yeah, when they come down, they wind up, you see a certain amount of them might be, indulging in certain things because it's hard. You don't remember certain things, but you know that there's a divine purpose behind what you're doing. But at the same time, it's like you kind of feel lost. And I'm not saying I'm an angel. All I'm saying is that to pick up your cross and to carry it day in, day out, it's not easy. But it's easy for perpetrators to be holy dancing in church when they know they don't know nothing about God. They know that they don't know nothing about struggle. They know that they don't know nothing about what it takes to follow him and to actually go through, I guess, that spiritual journey, that rebirth, that walking. Like, they just know, oh, I got let me simmer down. All they notice is that they got baptized, but they got baptized by a pastor who's part of certain type of incantations. And they speak about that heavy in the book of Ezekiel, how these elders, the cockiness of it all, because they've been placed in these positions for so long, how they took it upon themselves to think that they are almost higher than God. And they kept saying, even in the book of Ezekiel, oh, God's not watching us. God, he's turned his eyes away from us. We can do whatever we want. And I'm paraphrasing, but they did speak on it, saying that God isn't watching us, and they were able to do such detest, intensely dislike, disgusting things. And I don't think that's a word. It could be, I don't know. And it's just, how much time do I have left? And it's just horrible. It was a horrible experience. And I'm looking at him, and it's like he's trying to, and I'm listening to the book, and I'm just like, in book of Ezekiel, and he's speaking about that. He's speaking about how he's going to help him, leave. And they speak so freely around the prophet because boy, oh boy, when people, humility has left them and they allowed their titles and their money and everything else to place them in positions that has gotten them into those positions, and they allow that to be their right path. Like, they allow that to be what they actually follow, and they think that weighs more worth than God. And it's just because I'm like, why do I feel like this? And I get it, to see this day in, day out, to see that the way that they pretend like they're such great, amazing actors. How can you play like this in God's face and think that because you got away with this for so long that he does not see what you are doing? Anywho, in the book, it speaks about that, and I was talking to God. I'm like, so what do you want me to do? But then I kept seeing a dreidel, and I was like, oh, this makes so much sense, because it's like a dreidel can either go really, really, it can only go out but so far as in the circle that it's making. I'm trying to make a circle with my phone, but out as far as the circle it can make within its own motion, right? So if you have a dreidel and you drop it and you spin it, it's spinning and spinning and spinning. It can go further out, like it can go like the circumference of it can go a little further out in vastity, right? But in the same sense, once it starts to slow down, it comes back to that same center, right? So it's only spinning until it falls down. So I'm like, well, am I gonna fall down like a dreidel? But I'm like, what is happening? What are you showing me? But it's more so like you're horning in your energy, right? So like before I even got a chance to read the book, to listen to the book of Ezekiel, I was already talking to God before I left the house, and and I'm like, so you want me to horn my energy in? And I'm like, okay, I get it. I got on this amazing, dope, beautiful, gorgeous cloak that is just amazing. The train is long and it's just gorgeous and luxurious and it's beautiful. And And when I flow, it's like wind beneath my wings. But now you're saying no more covering your grace, because even last night when I got to catch a little bit of another sermon and he was talking about grace, and that kept popping up in my head over and over and over. So I'm getting somewhere. So it's like, horn back your grace, horn back your energy, pull it back, pull your energy back, pull your grace back. Like, yeah, I sent you here because I sent a lot of my children. What did this woman say the other day? Son babies. I thought that was just the cutest thing ever. I sent a lot of my son babies out here into exile. And I'm thinking, right? And it's like, now I need you to pull that grace back. I need you to pull back that energy. I need you to horn it back. You're not going to not keep spinning. You're not going to not keep rotating like the earth. It's just that now your rotation is more so horned into each other, right? So it's like, instead of you rotating so large and so abruptly and so widely and so vastly, now you're just rotating within that inner circumference. Like, you know, your circumferences became more horned in, more tighter. It's like when you're working out, and then like focus on the core, you know, don't do it slow and steady, the way that your movements are, so that they are not so fast and open. They're now more so singly focused and toned within the areas that you're working out on, right? So like, say if you're doing crunches, right? And you know, you just crunches from the elbow to the knee, and you know, you're doing something like that. More so now you're not even doing that. So now you break it down to calisthenics, and now you are doing planks, right? And then from there, instead of you doing so much of open wide spaces, you're now horning the energy, you're horning the movement, you're horning you. You're not stopping, you know. Even if with the planks you do, you know, you have your on your elbows and your toes, and then you rest it by allowing your, what I'm thinking about with your elbows to your hands, and then you bring it down to elbows to your hands, right? So you're resting. So from your right elbow to your left elbow, to your left hand, you know, it's like right elbow, left elbow, right hand, left hand. But at the same time, it's still tightening, and it's still focusing on the core. It's focusing on the back. It's focusing on the movements of the body. But now your energy has become, you're pulling it back in. Your energy is still moving. You're still vibrant. You're still doing everything that you're doing. But now it's more so like a steady focus on solely you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're no longer saying, God's like, oh, spread your grace, you know, cover the land, you know, pray for the people. No, the people got cocky in your energy, which is not even your energy. It's your grace from God. So they got cocky in that. And he's like, no. I've been watching that the whole time. Judgment is coming down on all of y'all. Like, now that y'all have went exile, now he's pulling y'all back in so that y'all can tighten up that core, tighten up that back, get everything all in line in order for you to be able to do what you got to do. So it's time to exit. It's time to exit, because he has your escape plan. He has your exit plan. I don't want to say escape plan because there's nothing to escape from, because they don't have that type of level of control they think they have. What they have is, I'm going to come together as a gang. I'm going to come together and mock you. I'm going to come together and copy you. I'm going to come together to try to make you trip on your own feet, because they run to do wicked deeds. And God said, I got that. I got that. I got that. I got them. I got the whole situation. Don't you worry about nothing. Because people are given opportunities. I was going to say chances. People are given opportunities for them to be able to redeem themselves, but they don't want to be redeemed. They think because they're hiding these idols and they got these positions, because he spoke solely about elders in book of Ezekiel. He spoke about princes. He said now they will be scattered. Now they will be exiled. He had Ezekiel come up, and this other man, Ezekiel is watching everything, which is a lot to take in. And then this other man he had come up who was dressed in linen cloth, and the cherub gave him the coals from heaven to rain down on these people. So every time you think, and I was feeling like that this morning, I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? Like, am I in the wrong? But I know that my hands are clean. I know that my heart is pure. I know that my intentions are strong. I know that I haven't done anything to anybody. And I know that y'all haven't either. But that's the whole thing, to make you think that you like them, because at the end of the day, these people don't want to be alone. And that's all I kept hearing too, because how much time do you have? Let me wrap this up. These people don't want to be alone. Because then, if you're not warning people which you are, if you're not trying to be out here saving souls which you are, then that comes back to you. You give up on your purpose. You give up on fighting a good fight. You give up on trying to help people. You give up on trying to save souls. Now you stuck in that pit with them. Either which way, it works for them. One, they don't have to be alone. Two, they don't have to sit in that pain. They don't have to sit in that karma. They want you to be able to shield them from what they've done. And I think that's kind of odd, because it's like you came here thinking that you protected someone, you saving somebody, which goes back to the movie I just saw this last night. But it's like you think that you helping somebody, and these are elders who are enjoying to see you run on this rat race, to run on this hamster wheel going nowhere. And what are they doing? Sitting back and sucking up that energy. And they don't care. They don't care what time of the night it is. They don't care what time of the morning it is. They're going to swipe that energy as much as possible. Giving each other little nods in the grocery store because they know that they got another child, that another son baby that they got under control. God said not no more. Not again. Not this time. You're going to have to reap what you sow. There's nobody that you can try to control. There's nobody that you can manipulate. There's nobody that you can get over on. There's nobody that you can try to harness their energy. There's no way that you can take their grace and save it. There's no way that you can hide up under their beautiful cloak in order to make sure that you don't feel that pain. Because I'm like, there's a lot of people. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, people don't want to have to deal with their karma for what they've done. They don't want to feel that wrath. So they find themselves a little son baby. And they just make me think about my own life. They just go and they do what they can. They do whatever they want to that son baby. And they don't care. And then they go outside and pretend like they are holy roly and holier than thou. When everything is just nothing but practicing idol worshiping and not God. It makes me think about Tammuz and how the people were crying on TV last night when I was watching them at the concert. And I'm like, they don't look like they're rejoicing. And I'm like, why my body feel like this? I'm like, because this is not who they're worshiping, but they like to hide and disguise it because they want to get as many innocent ones who think that they are worshiping the one true God and think that that's what they're doing, but they're not. So you got to be tough when it comes to your discernment. You got to strengthen that. Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, this has been a crazy journey. This has been the strengthening of your soul, the strengthening of your spirit, man. This has taught you something on a whole vascular level that you will never forget from lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. But don't think that you're not in it by yourself, because I'm here. I'm going through it, and so many other individuals are going through it. But know that what you're hearing is not falsity. Pay attention to how your body feels when you are getting information from God. Pay attention and try to understand and decipher what is God's voice and what is not God's voice, because your body will definitely let you know. And it's okay to protect your peace. It's okay to horn in your energy, because I heard the other day, that's not your job to give out all this light juice. You're not out here to be somebody's human juicing elixir. Like, you're not out here to be somebody's spiritual elixir. Like, your job is not to cover and protect people who have done horrible, wicked things to you and others. God is showing you so much, because at the same time, he wants you to see the sins of these people. He wants you to know what is being done in the dark. And he will continuously show you what needs to be shown in the light, so that you know what's going on, so that you can continue to work on yourself and horn your energy back in. Oh boy, I love you. You got this, and keep going.